Hey there, I'm Douglas from Draftbit, and today we'll explore the star rating component. This is a versatile tool for collecting and displaying measurable feedback from your app's users. Whether you're building a review system, a rating system, or simply want dynamic visual feedback element, the star rating component has you covered. In this video, we'll break down how to use it effectively, starting with how to add it to your screen. Head over on the left side panel to the component picker, click Add, then search for star rating. To ensure the stars in the star rating component are clearly visible, we'll start by adjusting the size. Click the star rating, go on Style, then on Star Size, we're going to put 50. Then now we can see the stars. Then on the device preview, click Web Preview, and now we can see the stars. We can pick a star. Then let's head over to Star Rating Data tab. And first we have the data source. So by default, when you create the star rating component, it automatically creates the star rating value variable. If we head over to variable, we'll see that the star component has created this variable, which is a number. And when a user selects a rating, the star rating variable updates automatically to reflect the chosen value. And to see this, we're going to add a text. And in that text, I'm going to add a variable called value. And I'm going to link the variable so we can see as the variable changes. So now notice when I select a rating like 2, the text changes and the text is linked to the variable. Now let's dive into the config tab to adjust some key properties of the star rating component. So if you go to config, we'll see the first thing that we see is the component name. This property lets you rename the component in the component tree. By default, it's named star rating, but you can update this to something more meaningful like user rating. Then up next, we have max stars. This property sets the total number of stars displayed. By default, it shows 5, but you can increase or decrease based on your app's needs. So for example, if I make this 8, we now have 8 stars, as you can see. If I set this as 2, we now have 2 stars. But in most applications, you can rate up to 5 stars. Then up next, we have editable. The editable toggle determines if users can interact with the star rating. So in some applications, you might not want this to be editable. You just want to display the rating and you don't want the user to be able to edit this. So now I can no longer edit this star component. But if I enable editing, now I can interact with it. Then up next, let's head over to Style tab. You'll notice in Style tab, we have active color and inactive color. So the active color defines the color of the stars that are filled based on the rating. So these colors that are filled, what color do you want them to be? So I can say red. Now when I fill the colors, they now become red. And the inactive color, this sets the color of the unselected stars. So here I can say black for the unselected stars. Now when the stars are unselected, they are now black. When they're selected, they are now red. Then finally, let's explore how interactions work with star rating component. Let's head over to the interactions tab and we have onPress. The onPress interaction is already configured to update the star rating value. This runs whenever you click on the star component. Then this onPress is going to run and already you'll notice that it's running and setting our variable, setting our on-screen variable with the new value. So whenever you click, the value updates, then gets set. And in order to see this, we can console log. And what I want to console log is the new value. So now, if I head over to my console log and I click, I'm able to see this new value. So what we're doing, we have an action that then takes this new value, in this case 3, then it updates it into the variable, which is the star rating value. Then what I'm doing, I'm displaying that variable here. So we can see the value 4 and we can see the value in the console log. So now that we've covered the basics, let's bring it all together with a practical example. So in a practical application, we're going to have a list of products. Then underneath each product, you're going to have the ratings, like in the form of stars. Like if you go on Amazon, you're able to see the product. Then down below, you're able to see the rating. So that's what I want to do here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add the fetch component. Inside this fetch component, is I'm going to fetch some products. So I have a backend API where I have a list of products that I'm going to fetch. And these are the list of products. So it has a name, description, image URL, and what we're concerned with, the average product rating. And as you can see, it's out of 5. So what I'm going to do inside this fetch component, I'm going to have a list. Whenever you have a fetch component, it gives us this data. Then any of the children are able to access this data. So if we go in the child, which is the list, underneath the data, we have this top level response. So that's our data. Then inside here, I'm going to have a view. Then inside this view, I'm going to have text. Then I'm going to have an image. Then I'm going to have the star component. It's not looking nice. So what I want to do, I want to center align. Then I want to have a gap of 20. Then I'm going to come to the text. Then I'm going to have a variable called name. And now I have access to my products. So I'm going to have name. You're going to see, we're going to have all the names of the products. Then up next, I'm going to have image. I'm going to go to image, and I'm going to give it a width of 100% and a height of 300. Then I'm going to go on the image URL. Then I'm going to create a variable. And as you can see, it's now coming along. We have the product name and the product image. Then I'm going to go to initial value. And for this, I'm going to pick the average product rating. And then notice when I select this, our products now have a rating. And this rating is dynamic. It's coming from our backend. And that's how you use the star rating component dynamically. In this video, we explored how to set up, customize, and use the star rating component in Draftbit, from adjusting styles and configurations to displaying dynamic ratings in a list. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, please comment, and see you in the next video.